Hey everyone, today's overview and review video is on power plants, and make sure you stick around because there's going to be a giveaway in this video. So if you're new to the channel, this is 2 Sheep 1 Wheat. My name is Krissy.
And I'm Nick.
And if you're into board games, like this video and subscribe to the channel. If you're also into board games, we have added members to the channel where we learn all of our new board games before we make any type of content on them. And a big thank you to all of the members who have already joined. So like I promised, there is a giveaway in this video. This is our Kickstarter edition copy that we backed on Kickstarter, but we
spent our own money.
We did, yes, but we did get a copy of the deluxe version of this game from KTBG, so we're going to give away that copy in this video. So the stipulations to that giveaway is that it's open to Canada and US only. So the giveaway is open from today, February 6th, until the 13th, and we will draw the winner on the 14th. All you have to do is leave a comment down below what your favorite
plant is.
Ooh, what your favorite plant is?
What your favorite plant is.
That's a pretty good one. Okay, so let us know what your favorite plant is down in the comments. Really, plant? That's what you went with?
Why not?
Yeah, I guess so.
It's power plants.
I guess so. So anyways, let us know what your favorite plant is down in the comments below. And when it comes time to pick a winner, I will heart your comment and I will leave you a message with my email address so that you can contact us. You will have 1 week to contact us. And then if we don't hear from you, then we'll just have to go ahead and pick another winner.
Yep. And we will never ask for any money. So.
Oh, yeah, never. Never at all. So just make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Tell all your friends because, well, I don't want to ruin it. You'll have to stick around to the end to see what we think about it. So anyways, we'll get started. So keep in mind, this is the Kickstarter edition. This is not the deluxe version of this game.
Yes, but
it's pretty similar.
There is no difference. The only difference is from the deluxe versus the Kickstarter right now, so you understand, is the wooden resources and the embossed bag.
Yeah, so
the bag is the same. It just doesn't have power plants on it.
So it'll just look like this, and the resources
are cardboard.
The gems, yeah, they're cardboard punch-outs.
But everything else we're showing right now is the same.
Yeah. Exactly. So we'll just jump to the table and we'll see what all the components are and a little bit of a setup too. So we have all of our, basically everything set up here. So just want to touch on this. This is the mat that we purchased with the Kickstarter. The giveaway copy isn't going to include the mat.
Yeah.
So for setup, you're going to randomly draw 5 plant cards and you're going to take out the tiles that is associated with it. So in the rule book, it does say for optimized gameplay, to have
2 mornings, 1 afternoon, and 1 night, and then one
random one. Exactly. So anyway, so we have all of these out, and then so for a 2-player game, you're gonna remove some of the tiles. So 7 and 8, I think, for a 2-player game is what you're going to remove. They do all have numbers on top of them, and then so 7 and 8 is going to get removed for a 2-player game, and then for other player counts, different tiles are going to be removed, or some not are going to be removed. So then you're going to take the number 6 on the tiles, and you're going to place them out. So the reason that they're numbered is because, we'll get into it a little bit later on, but the lower numbers are going to win the majority. Ties, yeah, exactly. So that's why that kind of takes place like that. So all the number 6s are going to be placed out onto the table on the mat if you have one. And then you're going to randomly draw the reserve, which is 3 different tiles. Each player is going to randomly draw 2 tiles as well. And then you're going to pick your color that you want to play in. And then, of course, we have our resources all set out here. So that is basically set up. Those are all of the components, and then Nick's going to go through what each tile does. So the patch tiles, the ones that we only have 5 out right now. That's how much you play with all the time. But there are other tiles, and they all do different things. There is a nice player aid that comes with it. So it does have all of the tiles on here, and it goes through each of what they do. And then there is another set of plant cards, and they're just kind of like an alternate. So that it just kind of spruces the game up a little bit.
More variability.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll start off with Honeyleaf.
Okay, so I'm not going to explain every single patch. I'm just going to explain the ones we have out.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, no, I know. That's why I mentioned this. So
because, you know, she does like to make me work and on these, especially since she's been pulling me into these reviews and overviews.
I haven't done a single overview
Yeah.
review by myself this year
No,
yet.
I've actually have 2 videos coming.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have multiple videos of just Nick.
Because that's what the people want. You gotta give them
I
what they want.
don't know if that's what the people want.
I will put this right here, and then you can pause the video to read if you want. So this is just the regular power plants. And then the other side here is the alternate. You guys can pause the video and you can read them if you want. But Nick is going to go through the 5 that we have out.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to explain each one as if I placed the tile. So we're just going to use these as our examples. So you have the wizard. So I'm going to start off. So normally when you place, Krissy will explain it, but you place out your tile with the wizard on and then you get to choose.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the wizard has to mean. So let's say we'll put the wizard on the honey leaf. Now you have 2 choices. I have sprout or I have grow. So the grow ability or the sprout ability for the honey leaf is I get to add 2 spirits to each patch next to the wizard that has 1 or 0 sprites on it. So there's 2 patches next to here. So I can add 2 spirits because there's no spirits. So I would just take 2 spirits and I get to throw them up here. Okay. Now, if I already had 2 spirits on there, I wouldn't be able to add another 2 because there is more than 1.
Yep.
Same thing. Say Krissy had a patch here, a spirit there, 2 spirits here. Now, I wouldn't be able to add 2 spirits to this patch because there's already 2 spirits there, but I would be able to add 2 spirits to this patch. So when you add a spirit to a patch where there is another spirit of another color, they basically cancel each other out.
Yeah, just eliminates
So
it.
if I'm placing 2, this one would cancel this one out, and so then this one would be left there.
Yep.
Okay, so that is the sprout power for this one.
Yeah, so basically each tile has 2 different options.
And so you need to decide, right? Because it depends on how many tiles are adjacent. So that's the sprout, so that's using the tile itself. Using the grow ability would allow you to use these tiles from where your wizard is. So I would use this grow and this grow instead. So I'm not going to really cover that. I'm just going to explain what the grow power would be for this one now. Okay, so we'll just forget this guy. So the grow ability for this, so if the wizard's here, the grow ability would be add 1 sprite to each patch next to the wizard that has 1 or 0 sprites. So that I was triggering the grow for this, you'd look at the wizard. If there's 1 or 0 sprites on here, I could add 2 sprites.
1 sprite to each, yeah.
1 sprite to each. As long as there's 1 or no sprites on it. So that would be the honey leaf, the sprout, and the grow.
Mm-hmm.
So then we got the deep root, which is right here. The deep root, you add 2 spirits and then add 1 spirit to different patches that are both in a straight line from the wizard. Both patches may be in the same line. So I can add 1 spirit. Oh, there's a hair.
There's always hair.
So I can add 1 spirit this way because it's a line, and then I could add 2 to this one if I wanted to. Or
it's another straight line.
It's another straight line. Or I could have added the one here, and I could add the other 2 there because it can be in the same line.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't be the same tile. Okay. Again, if you're adding 2 things and there's other sprites, they'll negate each other out. Right, so Krissy had 2 here and 1 here. I could basically eliminate it. I could put my 1 out here to cancel that guy out. And then I could put my 2 here to cancel these 2 out if I wanted to.
Yeah, so that was the sprout.
That was the
for
sprout
deep root.
of the deep root.
Mm-hmm.
So then growing of the deep root, I get to add 1 spirit to the patch that is in a straight line from the wizard. So if I'm using this grow ability, I would be able to add one spirit in a straight line of the wizard. Okay, so it would be any straight line
From the wizard,
From
yeah.
the wizard.
You'd be able to add a sprite. It could be in any line, doesn't matter how many tiles that there are. It can be all
it's
the way
a
at
line.
the end. Yep.
So you'll notice kind of a theme going here. The sprout and the grow are very similar. It's just the sprout is a lot more intense, whereas the grow is a little weaker, but you get to do multiple grows in a turn, right? So the Emberwood, you add 1 spirit and 5 gems to a patch next to the wizard. So you would be able to take any patch next to the wizard and 5 gems, and you could put it here and a spirit, right?
Yeah, so gems, just a little bit of tidbit of information, is victory points at the end of the game. So whoever has the most is going to be the winner.
And you need to be in control of the hex to get those victory points at the end of the game.
Which means having sprites on them.
So it's not just winning the largest field, you need to actually have the sprite on that particular patch to get it.
Yep.
So the grow ability for the Emberwood is add 2 gems to 1 patch next to the growing ember. So 2 gems, so this is the 2, next to the growing ember. So it could be this tile, it could be this tile, it could be this tile, right? It doesn't have to be where the wizard is.
Right.
Okay. So that is the growing ability of the Emberwood. So then we got Fright Shade. So that's this one. So you get to move 1 spirit from a field next to the wizard into an adjacent patch, then gain 1 gem for each spirit now in that patch. Field next to it. So let's say, do you have here's a green one.
There, that would be a field because...
Yeah, so that's a field of 2 patches.
Yep.
And let's say I had this one over here, just kind of give an example for this guy. So let's say we had that built out. And we had a sprite over here. So you can move 1 sprite from a field next to the wizard. So this is a field next to the wizard into an adjacent patch. So I could move this guy into that one. And then I place there the amount of gems of how many
sprites.
How many sprites there are. So there'd be 1 sprite there. Not how many you moved, how many are there.
Yeah.
Right. So if before I had moved and I triggered this ability, and I had one here, and I move into here, I would put 2 gems on this spot because there's now 2 sprites there. So that is the sprout. Now if I was to grow, I would move 1 sprite from a patch next to the growing Fright Shade, or from itself into an adjacent patch.
Yep.
So a patch that is around this. So if I had a sprite there, I could move 1 sprite next to the growing Fright Shade because it's next to it into an adjacent patch of this one. So this guy could move here. Or if it's here, I could move it here. Or if it's here, I could move it here. Okay? So that is the Fright Shade.
Then we go to the Snapjaw.
So the Snapjaw is this guy. So you capture 1 rival sprite from any patch in the field next to the wizard. Then add 1 sprite to any 1 patch in that field. So this is a field next to my wizard for the Sprout Jaw.
Yep.
So
Snapjaw?
Or Snapjaw.
What'd you call it?
I don't know. Snapjaw.
Yeah.
So I can take 1, I capture. Then I can place 1 of my sprites into any patch of that field.
Yep.
So I could be in the same spot if I wanted to, or I could take it. If I put it there, it's fine. If I decide to put it here, they cancel each other out. So the reason you're capturing these guys, so at the end of the game, you will turn these into gems.
Yeah, and like I said, gems at the end of the game are victory points. So some of the plants have end game scoring, and some of them are different depending on whichever.
You have to buy them back from your opponent. So basically, your opponent will give you a gem for this. Each one costs 1 gem, so they would pay gems from their supply to your supply to get their sprites back at the end of the game.
Yep.
So it's just a nice transfer of wealth. So then let's do the grow ability for the Snapjaw. So I capture one lone rival sprite from a patch next to the growing. So if I'm doing this as a grow ability, I get to capture a sprite, as long as there's only one, to my captured pile. Because it's capture one lone rival sprite from a patch next to the growing Snapjaw.
Yeah.
Right, so it would have to be here for this one, and I'd be able to take that, and it goes into
Keep
my
it under lock and
supply
key.
until she pays ransom to get it back.
Basically, right? At the end of the game. So yeah, so some of the tiles, what are you doing that for?
I'm just putting it back to the way you had it.
So like I was saying, some of the plants are going to have end game scoring. There are a couple of them, and again, it is on the nice player aid. They are different too, depending if you're playing with the alternate plants. So whatever they are, you're just gonna do that first. There's a order of what you're going to do at the end of the game and how scoring works. But I just wanted to touch on one thing too that Nick didn't mention. So when it's your turn, so basically a turn, you're going to take the wizard. The wizard would already be out there if you're like mid-game. You would take the wizard out and you would choose whichever tile you want to place out. And so you can only place your tile around the outside. But if it fits like that, you can place it in. But if you have something like this, it's not going to fit in there. So unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to place anything in there. That would just be a wasted space. So once you place out the tile, that is going to trigger something else too. So depending on which tile that you're actually placing out, you get basically a free sprite to be placed out onto it before you even choose to do the sprout or the grow. Some of the plants do have that icon that basically reminds you that you can't place out a sprite whenever you are doing your turn. So that was the one thing that Nick didn't mention.
Yeah, well, and I did mention another thing.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So again, as Krissy was saying, you have to be able to slide it. So basically, if there needs to be an entrance of two tiles. If there's these two are missing, you can slide it in.
Can slide it in.
If there's only one hole, you can't slide it in.
Yeah.
And so the other thing I didn't mention is when you're doing the grow ability, they trigger down in order of from morning to afternoon to night.
Yes.
So you have to trigger this one first, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So there's a bit of thinking to your process on what you're doing and the reasoning for your tiles that you place them out.
If you have multiple of the same patch that you are growing, you can determine the order that you want there.
Yeah. And they basically all trigger at the same time type thing.
So after you place out your tile, you do your sprout or your grow, then you have to draw back up from the bag. Yeah,
so you're always going to have two in your personal supply.
But now if you end up drawing
two of the same, you have the option to go from the
nursery.
Yeah, oh, that's right. That's what it's called.
You don't have to.
No.
You can keep these two, or you can take one and you can swap it out for whichever one you want from the nursery.
Yep, and add it back to your supply.
Now it goes to the next player's turn.
Yeah, exactly. So you're always going to have two tiles. You're using one, and then you're going to replenish it again. So you'll always have two tiles.
And then the game ends
when there's no more tiles in the bag. And then everyone gets one more turn. So at the end of the game, you'll be left with one tile in your supply, in your personal supply. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that's basically the tiles that we have out and how you play the game, what a typical turn would look like. And again, the jewels, the gems at the end of the game are going to be victory points. And then so how you score victory points at the end of the game. So depending on how large your field size is, so like say we had 3 of these fright shade out there, and then let's just say...
Yes, looks like that. So scoring that fright shade.
Scoring this one, so it's 3 patches, so you're going to find the field size here. So the first place, so it's whoever has control over the whole patch. So Nick is only on 1 tile, but I am on 2 tiles. And so I would get first place for that, and according to this, I would get 5 gems. So you would take 5 gems over into your pile, and then the second player, the second place, would get 2 victory points or 2 gems, so Nick would get 2 gems into his supply. Now, let's say that this is what it looks like. It's still a 3-patch tile. However, we are a tie, And in this case, like I was saying at the beginning, the lower numbered tile is going to win ties. So again, I would be the first player, and I would collect the 5 gems, and Nick would be second, so he would gain 2 gems. So that is how you score that. So the way that you go through it, because sometimes there are going to be gems on the patches.
You collect patches where you have gems.
Exactly. So if there's no sprite on there, you're not getting it, even if you have control over the patch. So wherever you are and there's gems, you're going to collect that to the rest of the gems that you earn during your gameplay. And then again, like I said, some of the plant cards are going to have end game scoring.
So that's when Krissy would have to pay back the ransom for
exactly,
her,
right? So he's got
captured.
2. I would give him 2 gems. Oh, you didn't get.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had her 2. She'd have to pay me 2 gems. I'd give them back.
Exactly.
So that's when you would resolve that.
And then whoever has the most gems is the person who won the game. So yeah, learning the game, reading the rule book. I thought, typically when Nick reads the rule book to me, I don't really pay any attention to him because it means nothing to me. He needs to explain it to me afterwards. This rule book was actually really easy to follow along with. Yeah, it's not a very hard game.
No, it's a smaller rule book.
Yes.
However, so we also did receive the prototype for this game back when it went to Kickstarter.
Yeah, like last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Krissy actually learned the game.
I did.
From those, and then she taught it to me for the Kickstarter. Yeah. So we already had somewhat a basis of learning
exactly.
it.
And if I can learn a game by reading the rule book, anyone can. And I did not flip a table.
But this is a well-written rule book. It's clear.
Is.
It tells you what you're doing.
It is. And typical KTBG form, there is a spot at the beginning of the book for training mode. So because it is more geared towards family, there is the option so that there's not much reading and just an easier way to teach younger kids who can't read.
Well, to teach them and to get them into it, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just
especially if you're trying to teach it to like 5 players, because I believe that you can play this as 5, right?
Yeah.
Right. So if you're trying to teach 5 people, maybe it's easier to do the training mode, get everyone on the same page, and then add the last remaining rules in.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So, but yeah, learning the rule book, learning the game, reading the rule book.
Yeah. But like these cards are super easy they explain well what they're doing.
Exactly.
There's not like, oh, I don't know. They're very clear.
Yes.
There's enough reference cards to go around to everybody at the table, which is another nice thing.
Yes. And it even shows how you play the game, and then it has the scoring at the bottom as well. So.
And it's nice everyone gets one.
And it's big.
Yep.
Exactly. The only thing that isn't on here, not that we have it on here, is the Kickstarter extra tiles.
Yeah, so there's 2 extra patch tiles that come with the Kickstarter edition.
Yep.
They are not on the reference guide, which would have been nice.
I understand why they're not on there, because that would have been extra that they had to create and print off and make sure that they made it into the right box. But again, you have this out on the table literally the whole time you're playing. So you just have to squish and read it. But
yeah, no, I found it really, really streamlined learning it. But that's a typical KTBG. I haven't found any one of those games to be overwhelming.
I haven't found any of their rule books not to be understood.
No, but again, this is designed for
a family. It's
a family-oriented game. Not to say it's not for hardcore gamers.
We like it.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it is definitely designed to be able to bring in the whole family.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like they do that really well too with like their bright colors and everything too. Yeah. But playing the game too was really fun. Yes, it's quite an easy concept. You're placing a tile. You're either going to sprout that tile, or you're going to grow the tiles around that one. But strategy, right? Oh, you want to get the gems. You want to get your sprites out. You want to dominate the field.
It's a very interesting area control game. Right? Because you need to know when to try to take over a tile, so a field, so that you can stop your opponent. Where to place your tile, so you can maximize your grow options. Like if you can get a place where you can get 4 tiles for a grow, that is great. Those are really interesting spots to get to.
And there's a lot of different tiles out there too. Like there's one in there that will allow you to move any tile around, and you get to knock off the opponent's sprites. Yeah. Right? So like there's lots of
so variability is really well, right?
Yeah, exactly. Plus like the extra, what's it called again? The alternate plants too. Like they're the same tiles, but they're just completely different, right? So.
And what I like is, like, yes, there is a little bit of luck. You are dependent on what you're drawing from the bag. Mm-hmm. There is a mini expansion.
I think there's three
mini expansions that came
with the Kickstarter. Yeah.
1, 2, yeah, maybe 4 actually.
Yeah. There's 4. There's the cards.
Cards, the wells, the spade, and the wizard.
Yes.
But there is the spade, so there is like a mini expansion.
I have it right here. I can show
which really doesn't take too much to add in if you don't have it.
No, exactly. So the spade.
It's basically allows you for one time at the end of your turn.
Yep.
To when you draw that new tile from the bag, if you don't like what you drew, you can use your spade. You put it over here. Yep. And you can exchange. It allows you to exchange, even though you have 2 different tiles, you can exchange one.
Exactly, and then you're able to get it back too. So if whenever you're placing a tile out, or you're doing the grow or sprout, whichever, and you have the option to put a sprite out, you can choose not to put your sprite out to get your spade back.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's one of the mini expansions that if you want to even reduce the variability of drawing from the bag, you want a little bit more control.
Exactly.
So it's not so random. It's still random, but you can still have some control.
Yep.
It's an easy one to add in, and even if you didn't get that expansion, use a token to mark that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's super easy to add in, and all it does is limit the randomness. You can have a little bit more control when you really need a crunch.
Yeah, and then the other expansions as well are like super easy, and they kind of just do a little
they add
bit
a little bit things, nothing crazy, but I think that one is the biggest for like game changing, allowing you to manipulate what tiles you have.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But yeah, playing the game is fun. I really enjoy playing the game.
Yeah, and I think it's a really fun theme too. Like it's different, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and you do feel like you're building your garden, you're sprouting out larger. The abilities on some of these plants, is it super crazy theme heavy? No, but it's there.
No, yeah, exactly.
But like the deep root can reach across the garden because its roots are deep. Like you can, if you want to find the theme in there, you can find it.
Yeah, exactly, right. You
but like, why are these wizards building this garden for these magical plants for their potions? Maybe, but like, why? I don't know. Right? Don't look too deep.
It's fine, but it's a good looking game.
It's a great looking game.
I think the mat. I think the mat really makes it. I was thankful that Nick got it. He wasn't sure if we got it or not, but really
I wasn't sure if I pulled the trigger on the mat.
Yeah, and I'm super happy that he did, because it honestly just brings the game to life for me, I think. And plus, because these characters, these are the sprites that you're, for our Kickstarter edition anyway, the sprites are all individual characters. So these are the characters that they are. But maybe a little restrictive, but I don't think, I haven't found it very restrictive.
It's got hex spaces all around
Exactly.
And again, if it ends up growing off the mat, you just grow off the mat.
Then whatever, yeah, exactly.
But it's just the color, right? It's just I love the colors, the look of it is really appealing.
Yeah, exactly. So, because, there wouldn't be much artwork without the mat.
No, but the cards are well looked.
The cards are,
the tiles are pretty cool looking.
Which is the only artwork on there. Yep. To me, you need the mat.
Yeah, I like the mat. I don't think it's a bad game without the mat.
No, well, we've played it without the mat. Yeah. We had the...
I just think it enhances it. I kind of wish that all the copies came with a board or a mat, kind of just... it is a very well looking design, and a little board in the box would have gone a long way too.
To make it look, for artwork wise and whatnot. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. The components for the game. Yep. Anyways, what is the retail edition? Cardboard punch out, which I think drawing them out of the bag, I think would wreck the cardboard tiles.
But it's to get it at a lower price point and everything, right?
Yes.
These wood tiles though feel great.
Oh, they're nice.
Feel great pulling them out. They're nice and bright. They're nice and clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do feel great pulling them out.
Yeah, I'm very happy the edition that we got.
But if we were talking about things like art-wise that we wish were designed a little bit better, it would be the 2s and the 1s for resources.
Yeah, one because of the color.
Well, they're just a little bit larger. They're not a lot, and
Yeah.
it would have been just nice to be in a different color.
I feel like this is just a nitpick. It's really not going to affect gameplay.
No, it doesn't affect.
But
it is just looking out here. You know, you're doing a quick glance.
Yeah.
It's easy to tell where the 5s are, where the 10s are,
Yeah.
if there's any 10s out, right? You can
Yeah.
quickly tell.
Yeah.
Where
and you know what? I just noticed that these are silver and these are gold.
But, you know, that's just a nitpick.
Yeah.
But I just saying a little bit of color. The game is very colorful.
Yeah.
So why not use some of that color?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then again, if I was also going to complain about artwork and color,
All right.
the other 2-player colors, I believe, are silver and black.
Yeah.
That's my typical complaint with.
Nick does not like silver and black. He thinks that they're too similar.
Yeah, they just blend in. When you have games with these bright colors, there's a blue and.
The pink and.
Why limit yourself to gray and black? I don't know. It's the same thing with Burn Island games with their in the Hall of Mountain King.
Yes.
I can complain about these. It's an ongoing complaint of mine. Does it matter? No.
No. It does not affect gameplay whatsoever. It's just a nitpick.
Yeah.
But he's
I just say if you got all these nice, cool neon colors, use some more cool neon colors. I'm just saying, right? Like you've already taken the dive to use neon colors.
You know what?
Go
They
for
put
it.
pink and purple in there, and you would complain that they're too close, too similar in color.
Just
anyway.
saying. You've already gone with the bright neon. Go all the way.
Which goes with the components. They're great.
Yep.
Because
especially the Kickstarter.
Yeah. Well, even the deluxe. And what about the retail? Are they?
I don't know what they are in the retail.
I don't know what they are in the retail, but the
Probably
deluxe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other one, the deluxe
copy.
one, they're all the same shape.
Yeah. Just
But they're still wooden.
Yeah.
So, and then the money. I think the money's like it's wood. I can't complain about wood.
No, the Kickstarter version is very well done with the wooden tokens.
Yeah.
And
I think
component-wise, it comes with a nice tray insert for the Kickstarter version, which the deluxe doesn't.
Yes.
It Kickstarter for the price is very well.
Yeah, which is typical KTVG and Burnt Island games. You can't complain about their components whatsoever, and if you're going with the higher end copy, the insert.
Yeah.
The insert.
And they typically make their Kickstarter game, like they'll offer the Kickstarter version and then the deluxe version generally during their Kickstarters, and it's usually only a couple bucks more to get the Kickstarter version.
Yeah.
It's usually always a better bet.
And I think that you can buy
the
inserts and whatnot off their website,
it always
right?
adds up, right?
Yes.
It's always a better deal to get
Yeah.
the Kickstarter version off the Kickstarter, especially for Burnt Island games and KTVG, I find.
So your overall thoughts on the game? I think we've kind of mentioned that we like it.
I like it. We played it a couple times earlier already after, not counting when we did for the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
It's in the head, right? Every time I play one of these guys' games,
yeah,
I just want to keep playing it. Same with Fall of the Mountain King. When we got it, I just wanted to play Fall of the Mountain King.
We got in the Hall of the Mountain King and literally sat on our shelves forever until we played it, and then we couldn't get enough of it.
Same with In Too Deep and Fossilis. Couldn't get enough of it. Like these games.
I'm still pretty sure that In Too Deep is like one of like our more played games.
Right. So it's one of these games where you play it. It plays quick.
And then,
you just want to play it again.
We were laying in bed after we played it, and it was like, I really enjoyed that game. I had a lot of fun.
Yep.
And we're going to play it again. Yeah, we're definitely going to play it again.
I like area control. Chris doesn't usually take that fighting kind of thing, but it's not the feel of
No, it's not.
battling, right? It's just like area control at its simplest.
It is. Yeah.
Right? There's no dice. There's no nothing. It's just, I got to place out here, so I'm going to just get rid of that. And they cancel out, right?
Yeah, well, and I think that area control for me is... This one, I can, you placing things out benefits me if I can knock you off.
No.
Right? So I think that's a little bit different from the...
Now, we haven't played this at 3 players. I think this would be really interesting. I think this would shine at 3 players better.
Yeah.
Right, just because it's area control.
There's
so more back and forth, right?
But it's really not that bad at 2 players.
It's not bad at 2. I really like it at 2. I think its sweet spot, though, would be 3. 3, 4.
Yeah.
Would be its sweet. 5 is probably too much, but 3 and 4 is probably the sweet spot.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah.
But it's a good head-to-head game as well. Plays well.
I would agree with
I
that.
can't say enough good things about this. And I spent my own money on it, so.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So the reason that we have that KTBG sent us the copy was for helping out with the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed it so much that we ended up just buying our own copy. So
Yeah, we tend to. If we
Yes.
really enjoy a game, we will back it ourselves, even if we previewed it.
yeah, like we don't expect. I didn't expect KTBG to send a copy, so
Nope.
reached out to them and asked if we could give it away, and they're like, absolutely.
Yeah, same thing
Share the
with Fall of the Mountain King.
Yep.
They sent it to us for helping, and
Yeah, exactly.
we gave it away because we enjoyed it so much. We backed it too, so
Yeah.
we have no problem putting our money where our mouth is.
No, or our giveaway.
Yeah.
Where we.
So,
Where our
and
mouth
if we
is.
ever get an extra game, why not give it out to you guys?
Yeah, exactly. Because honestly, we wouldn't be here without you.
Nope.
So, anyways, if you skipped right to this, thinking that this is where the giveaway was going to be, haha, it's at the beginning of the video. So, if you missed out the requirements for the giveaway, just go back to the beginning of the video or check out the description down below. But again, open to Canada and US, and good luck to everyone. Hopefully, somebody good wins. Everyone's good.
Hopefully someone from Canada, the U.S. win.
Well, it's open to Canada and US. Hopefully somebody in Alberta wins so that shipping won't be too bad.
Yeah.
But that's all right. We make money off of YouTube and that helps pay for the shipping. So we will never ask you for any money for any of the giveaways.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're good.
We're good.
That wraps it up.
We're going to film a playthrough now, and I'm going to win that trophy.
I don't think so.
I'm
Anyway.
saying it here. You've heard it here first.
No.
You'll be able to watch it in a week. You will see me win that trophy in the next video.
No. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to enter the giveaway and good luck to everyone.
Bye.